Hey guys, and welcome to episode 15 of the Gungeon, and we are in the Gungeon today. I'd like to thank everyone for the likes, subscribes, and comments, and keep doing that and making my channel even popular and make an old man happy. So, I promised you before, guys, that I was going to have some special guests on. And I have a special guest on today who brought a very, very interesting firearm. He's a co-worker and a friend of mine. His name is Austin. How we doing today, Austin?
I'm doing fantastic. About you, Pete?
Wonderful, wonderful, man. We're here early in the morning at freaking 9 o'clock in the morning, brother. We're doing this shit. We're talking about guns for people. How?
Hey, that's got to do what you got to do.
Right?
Yeah.
So, and you believe in the Second Amendment, right? Like I do.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's a requirement. Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. So go ahead and explain this wonderful firearm that I have been trying to buy off you now for the past, year, I think it is?
Year and a half.
Year and a half. I've been trying to get it off you, and you won't want to sell it for some reason, and I get it. I get it. It's a military surplus gun, and you don't want to sell it. And guys, military surplus right now has completely went up in price.
Oh,
I mean,
skyrocket, especially compared to the price I originally paid for this example of a M91 30 Mosin Nagant. I originally bought it actually at Cabela's. I couldn't remember, maybe 6 or 7 years ago, for $170.
$170
brand new.
You know how much they are now?
Oh,
have you looked?
I cannot remember.
Classic Firearms. I was just looking at one the other day. Classic Firearms had one on there. I think it was and it was missing the bolt. It was like $349 or something.
$349 for missing the bolt?
Missing the bolt. And then some of them, they get the military. And Classic Firearms, don't get me wrong, Clint with Classic Firearms and that whole group, great people. And they do a good show. They go to SHOT Show 24, which they'll post it on YouTube and show you the show and everything.
Yeah.
Great group of guys, Hitchcock 45 and all the other ones that I listen to. You listen to Hitchcock 45?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, we do. And so, I mean, the guns have just gotten higher and higher and higher.
Yeah, terribly. I think I last seen, I remember when SKSs were cheap also and stuff like that. They were about the same price, and now they're what, $6,000 to $1,000?
$6,000 to $1,000.
Yes.
I went to a live auction and an SKS sold, and I was shocked.
And it's not even like it'll have scratches. I mean, it's a surplus rifle. You're gonna expect that,
right?
But some of them are pitted. They're
ridiculous. I went to one, like I said, at an auction down the street, and it was terrible. Somebody bid. I bid alone that night. I bid $300. I got outbid in 1 second for that SKS, and it went. When it finally sold, it was almost $1,500. Somebody paid for an SKS. $1,500.
That is ridiculous.
I know, it's totally crazy what's going on now. But anyway, tell everybody what you got here.
As I stated before, this is, of course, M9130 Mosin Nagant. I bought. This one specifically has it stamped made in 1931, so this would have been a very early production one, at least considering how long they made the 9130. Now they had many different versions of it, different carbine style, like M54s. I can't remember any of the other ones, and they're still used today in war. They're still even used over in the current conflict that we have now. There's even been some examples that they still use PU style ones with the PU scope on it, and that's drilled tab with the bent bolt. Of course, this one being an infantry style. It does have the bayonet. I'll show that in a bit, and handle the firearm and put it on to show you how to do that possibly. This is a numbers matching rifle. So nice. The bolt, everything, the magazine, at least the magazine box, the butt plate, the barrel, the bolt, the pieces, some of the pieces of the bolt are labeled all the same serial number.
Wow. So how you picked that? How you picked that up? Then that was actually pretty good, because you don't find all matching number firearms.
And it came with the magazine pouches too when I first bought it.
Wow.
In a box with the tin of Cosmoleum.
Really?
It comes with, for I guess standard issue of then. And back when Cabela's was actually Cabela's, not Bass Pro Shops. Yeah, I bought this from them for 170 brand new. I think they had a crate of them in the back, and this one came out of a fresh crate, if I remember right.
Jeez. And, what a price. And I know, like I said, I've been trying for a whole year to get this gun off you.
Yeah.
And you will not sell it. And I had a chance for one. I don't know if I told you. Remember a few years ago, I don't know if I told you or not at work, I said that I saw one in a pawn shop, and I think they wanted 400 or something like that.
I remember you mentioned.
Remember I mentioned that, something like that. They went one for 400, but I didn't want to go 400, and the guy wouldn't budge on it a little bit because military surplus. They were cheap. You could buy them for what, $150 sometimes, $125.
Oh, yeah.
You like an Italian Carcano that I'm actually looking at right now. But I'm looking at it right now. The only thing that it's missing is the bayonet. That's the only thing. And
that's right.
I hear I can get it. You're able to get it. But the gun was phenomenal, and it looks good. It's military surplus because, it has a little bit of gouges in it and everything.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at one of those right now, and it's chambered, in 6.5 Creedmoor, basically. And I didn't know that. Literally, I didn't know the Italian Carcanos.
Yeah, it's very close.
Were 6.5 Creedmoors. I didn't know that. And so, I'm looking a lot shorter than the Mosin Nagant here.
Yes.
This is a long rifle. How are the sights on it?
They're not half bad. That loop sight up front there, it's I'd say if you got a 4-inch bullseye down at 100 yards, that front sight will cover it. It's kind of the sight coverage is not ideal for farther ranges. I would say more than like for a person-sized silhouette, sort of say more than 300 yards. Mm-hmm. At that point, it's very hard to tell if you're actually on them or it's just slightly off. Mm-hmm. This one, for example, though, I have to get it fixed. It's a little bent up, but it still shoots all right. I also have to get the barrel looked at too. It shoots all over the place, but I'm
really,
sure
it's shooting all over the place.
Yeah, even with the bayonet, it's done the same grouping about this at 50 yards.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fouling in the barrel I haven't been able to get out. I plan on taking it to a gunsmith, but
we got to find one.
Yes.
We don't have any around here. No. It's like you can't find anyone that
not at least known of at least reputable.
Reputable and not around here and close to us. And we live within 25 miles of each other.
Yeah.
Or so or less.
Less than that.
Yeah, maybe, less than actually. Yeah. But I can't find anybody over that'll actually work on. I mean, I thought I had Shooter's World that we could have done this at, but when I've asked the guy a couple of questions before, a lot of times they just do the Cerakoting and they'll clean the guns for you and just the small stuff. But somebody to actually work on our firearms, I haven't seen anybody do it yet. That's why I'm trying to, and I'm going to be hopefully shortly here in the next year trying to get a gunsmith license to see if I can actually work on some of this stuff because you're like me. We're kind of one and the same. We see each other every day at work, and we like kind of the same kind of stuff, so we're into the old military surplus stuff and, whatever we can get that's actually pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
But keep going about it. Keep telling me more about it. What made you want it?
Oh, man, I've wanted a Mosin since, I'd say the days I started playing games.
Really?
Absolutely. But some of the old Call of Duty titles, I would say, like World at War and Call of Duty 2 and 3 and a Big Red one. All those got me interested into the Mosin because it seemed like the rifle of the war, I would say, or the Car 98. Mm-hmm. That I guess I could say the hero of guns. Mm-hmm. But that's pretty much it. What made me really want them. And also I think they look beautiful.
Yeah.
Like especially like this one, how the grain is, and how they do the forestock, and the banding to keep it all together. The little spring pieces of steel, the little leather straps to keep the shoulder strap on it for the loops. I love it. Especially the hex receiver. Some of those actually had a rounded off receiver depending on the time they're made. Usually, I think if I remember right, when they in World War II they changed that to a round receiver or a very very rough cut design because they're trying to get them out as quickly as they can. Now, as far as production wise, I do have some facts on that. If you would like to know.
Yeah, go ahead, shoot them out. What the facts?
Some of these were actually made in America.
What?
American company. There's a couple American companies, and I bet you would not guess who probably made.
I bet I can guess maybe
one.
No, I might be able to guess both of them. Let's see. One of them was Remington.
Yes.
Okay.
Remington was one of them, and the other one was Westinghouse.
I know. That's I looked into that. Westinghouse. Can you believe that?
I could not.
What do you know Westinghouse for?
Military stuff. At least
appliances.
The appliances, really,
or electronical things. I mean, that's all I knew Westinghouse for. Lighting.
I thought they had a couple of contracts with the military, at least the U.S. military. At last I knew, but that's all I knew about Westinghouse.
You got me when I saw that, and I that's why I knew you were getting ready to say that. When I saw that myself,
not believe it.
I could not believe it. I was thinking, oh, this was made, in Russia. That it was, and because it was used, I know in the Turkish-Russian War or something like that, or I know it was used in World War I, and it was made in 1891, right?
Yes, 1891.
And who were the
1890?
Who were the? How did they come up with Mosin Nagant?
I can't remember the very first names, but the last names of them were Mosin and Nagant. I think you know the first names.
Yeah, Alexei was
Alexei, Mosin, and then
Leon or Leomi. Yeah,
Nagant, and they actually were going head to head for a contract for a new infantry rifle that the military needed. At that time, I cannot remember before that what they were using. I think they were still even using black powder cartridges. I mean, that's kind of still like a standard thing up until then. And what the Russian military, or what you call it, it ain't going to be Russian. It's going to be, because there's Soviet, and then
there's
the great.
I was reading the Imperial, wasn't it the
Russian
Imperial, the Russian Imperial, something
Imperials.
Like that, because they called it the Dragoon,
or
something like that.
Yeah, the Dragoons. Oh God, I can't remember. There's actually a fun fact about the Dragoons.
Yeah, and you know what? I was looking for. There is a fun fact about that, and I didn't even. I kind of forgot it because to try to remember everything that we can about these.
Oh man.
We're not scripted here today, guys. We are here right now.
No.
In the morning on a Saturday morning. Both of us worked yesterday, and we probably haven't had much sleep, but we're here to bring this content to you, to teach you about some firearms and what is in our collections, and like I said before, I'm going to have more people on, and Austin's probably going to join me many more times because he has plenty of firearms too, and it's just something that we like, and he's got a lot of interesting little firearms too. So like I said, guys, this is not scripted at all. We are just here talking and discussing, and we might look up a few facts like he did, and like I did, because we don't just buy the guns just because we like them. We think they're cool.
Oh, absolutely.
And military, to me, is cool. Military surplus.
Sometimes be beautiful. Like we just stated before.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one specifically was made in Tula.
In Tula, okay.
Yes, this is an actual Russian one.
Russian, okay. Good.
Now, there was a point when they were making them. They actually made what they call the fancy one. Mm-hmm. Or I forget the actual name. It's so hard to pronounce some of these words. I apologize. I don't pronounce Russian or any of that. Like the Gorbani or Gorlini. I can't remember what it is. But they actually took a Mosin, a 9130, mm-hmm. and they made it as light as possible to improve it. So what they did is they fluted the barrel. They mm-hmm. shortened the forestock. They changed. Of course, at this time, aluminum's expensive and hard to get.
Oh yeah.
They changed every bit of banding. And like spring steels along the side here. Mm-hmm. The sight was changed. All this was changed to aluminum.
Jeez, why use aluminum?
It's trying to get as much weight as possible off of it. That was one of the complaints of the soldiers at the time, at least when you're trying to march these extremely long distances with them. And also the front end weight was mainly the problem. It was very fatiguing for them to make long range shots.
But what about for recoil action? Was that for the recoil for that kind of, when you're making it lighter like that, the recoil is going to be. I'm wondering how the recoil was.
I cannot remember. I think I might be wrong about this, so don't quote me on this. They might have actually added porting right behind the front sight.
Oh, really?
I believe the barrel was also shortened another inch and a half. Mm-hmm. They did that on that. they also made the stocks out of different woods depending on who manufactured them too. So I can't remember what they used for that one, but this one's made out of I think I can remember beechwood.
Okay.
I can't remember the other one. I think sometimes they even made it out of pine. If they're really short of the Americans.
So from the barrel back is all beechwood.
Yes, yeah. This is actually all beechwood. This really is.
Okay.
I believe this is also beechwood. I might have to double check on that one.
Okay.
But Americans made them in walnut and what was the other one? Our standard stuff we use walnut and maple. Maple. So you'll know if you have an American one, or at least the American stock, that would be completely different. It looked like an M1 Grands.
Oh, stock. Really?
Yeah, exactly like an M1 Grands, because they're made around the same time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So now that bayonet that you have that goes with it.
Yes.
How about let's see what this bayonet looks like.
This old, I don't know what you would. Just a tri-blade, made to hurt. Let's just put it that way. These I don't know if you all can see this, or you can even look it up yourself. If you have to pause the video or whatever to look up what these look like, at least in the picture and stuff. These are a tri-edge blade, but the fun fact is these are not sharp edges. I can run my fingers as hard as I want on these edges. They're made to tear. They're made to cause as much damage and bleeding as possible if you were to use it. This edge is only what's sharp, but this one's been doled out by me by accident. How you put this on the barrel actually locks on your front sight.
Oh, really?
Yes. So there's a little spring tab right here.
Okay, I see that.
You put it on and press it, and then you rotate it.
Oh, okay.
So for a good example.
Got it?
Yep. You'd get this little cutout right here. You slide it on. Sometimes it's tight with these, and you rotate it. Rotating is sometimes the hard part, actually. Getting it to line up. There we go.
All right. So now,
and then it locks into place, and then that.
Watch. There
Yep.
we go. Nice. See, look at that, boy. That's good for stabbing.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what? After you shoot him, it's kind of like bam.
Yes. So there's sometimes.
And that's what they did.
I think one of the methods, what they did was they stab him then shoot.
Or stab first.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Or stab first.
I tell you what, I get a little bit nervous. I think I want to shoot first and then stab later, and to make sure that if I was fighting a war that they were completely I don't know that I'd make sure that they were that. Unfortunately, I had to kill the enemy, but that's what I would.
Yeah, it's part of war. It's we don't want to do it,
but we have to do what we have to do.
Yes,
this is what we need to do. So now your little
the pouches,
the magazine
or the stripper clip pouches or ammo pouches. Mm-hmm. Now those came with the rifle, like I stated before. The shoulder strap did not. These I do have different types of ammo in. It's different. More modern stuff, but also actual surplus Russian. Of course, these are just leather and captured pouches. They have a little, I guess, what you call a brass spade on the bottom with a hole in the leather, almost like a belt, would almost kind of work. Mm-hmm. And you pop them over, and I actually the surplus.
Oh, you got the surplus paper that.
Yes, the surplus paper that it came in. So here, I'll take a round out of each.
Nice.
I'll show y'all what these look like. These ones I bought. Nothing special was put onto them or anything, but they actually do have a silver tip. I don't know what specifically that means for Russian ammo. Specifically, I know Americans that usually means armor-piercing incendiary, the spicy stuff.
The actual real cool stuff.
Yes. I don't know if that is. I know a standard military surplus round like these have actually a mild steel core in them as standard.
Okay.
So they actually can punch through a little bit of metal if you need it to, or if it's just got thick layers, or someone's got really thick wool layers back then. Sometimes those ranges would do that, and also do have stripper clips of this
stuff. Look at that, guys. Look at that stripper clip that goes in there.
These are not obviously aftermarket stripper clips I bought at a gun show, so nothing original there, but they work very well. They don't need them to be expensive. Oops. Mm-hmm. Each one of these actually has different ammunition, and these are soft point ones.
Oh yeah,
as you can see, hunting rounds.
Yeah, hunting rounds.
If I remember right, this is 180 grain, and these are 203 grain projectiles. These ones, obviously, you can see the case is different. These are lacquered steel cases. They have some bad reputation for fouling up bores because of the lacquer comes off, but it's a surplus rifle. You're meant to torture it, basically. Stop being gentle on it. Unless it's that type of example where it's rare, then I can understand. Like Ian McCullen might be, I don't know if any of y'all know the Forgotten Weapons channel, but Ian McCullen, he's very, very, very experienced in these old firearms.
Military surplus arms.
Yes, especially like the explaining them, taking them apart, very detailed. If you actually are really into that. A shameless plug for him. He's a big. I'm sure some of y'all have heard of him. Go check out the Forgotten Weapons channel on YouTube. If you want to get some education on some of these firearms, like he's done the special Mosin Nagant I was telling you about. He's actually been able to do a video on that specific rifle I was talking about, where they had the extra aluminum, or the aluminum pieces they replaced for the spring pieces of steel, the like MG42s, MG34s, Lewis gun, and even so much more rare examples like the Finnish Mosin Nagants, and a couple other weapons.
I've seen a couple of those Finnish Mosin Nagants, and they are up there in price.
It's because they're rare.
Yeah,
it's because at the end they kind of scrapped them, and so basically what you got was
hardly nothing.
You
really didn't get much to them because, like I said, I was checking not too long ago on certain ones, and every time I try to find a Mosin Nagant, or even the other day I saw a Turkish Mauser. 2 of them, actually.
I'm really interested in those.
Well,
right now.
I told you I'm telling you where they're at our local gun store, but I can't say. But I will tell you that.
Yes.
Between me and you, when we see each other at work, or after this video, where I've seen them, and the person has 2 of them, and that's the.
I'm really M95 Mausers. I love
them. They're 2 Turkish ones, and I noticed it the other day, going in, and. They actually got in some military stuff that I didn't know that they were getting. And I happened to... And guys, I can't tell you the store because I haven't talked to them yet. I'm sure I know the owner. They won't have a problem with it. But I still don't like to mention anything, about them until I get their okay and their approval. Because it's only respectful.
Yes.
And, you don't want to put faces in these videos. And so I need to talk to them before I do this. But yeah, they had in some really interesting things, and that's where I got my Mini 14 from. Actually,
I was just looking at it before. I was thinking how cool that is.
That's where I got my Mini 14. But I did put a Monstrum scope on it, but I'm gonna take that off because I really didn't like it that much. And I have 2 range bags full of Ecotech, Monstrum, Holosun, Vortex Venoms, CV Lifes, are in 2 range bags inside of that closet there of just sights, red dot sights. I got Crimson Traces, tactical flashlights. I've got, because every time I see a deal, you know me.
Oh, of course.
Because I'll talk to you at work about it when I get there. I'm going to buy it.
Absolutely. Why wouldn't you?
I'm going to buy it. We had one of the guys at work that in the shop, Willie.
Yes, Willie.
I saw him last week at one of our local gun stores, and I was there purchasing a firearm, which, guys, I talked about the Heritage Rough Rider last week that I purchased. Well, he was told, Alex had told him, why don't you go over there to get ammo, because they had plenty of it. They did the day before. The day Willie was there, when I was getting the Heritage Rough Rider, gone. Everything gone.
What?
Yes, everything that was on sale, gone.
Oh, my God.
And then yesterday, Trevor tells me that they're having CCI Blazers at Academy Sports. That kind of chain, guys, I can talk about because they're a big chain.
Yeah, big chain.
Yeah, huge chain. So, I can kind of talk about them because, they're around. I can talk about Rule King because they're all over the place. But, they had a really big... He was telling me CCI Blazers were, for 50 rounds, I think he was telling me were like $9.99 or something like that, and he picked up 500 rounds or something of 22 LRs. Yeah. Now, I mean, I have a plenty of 22s, but still picking that up. Well, at Rule King the other day, I picked up 25 rounds for $247, but that was pretty damn good price.
Yes.
And here lately for Christmas, guys, look at your local firearm stores and look at your big chain stores, and you're going to see deals that they have on ammunition. And you know what? You got to get there fast, because if you don't, it goes quick.
Very quick.
Yes, especially at good deals. The prices, they just go quickly. They really, really do.
Get there early and get as I would say as much as you can. Save a little bit for some people, all right?
Yeah. We get the hogs
support
out
the
there.
Community. Yeah,
we get the hogs out there that take everything, and I hate that.
I've seen someone a shop. I don't have any 9mm. It's not that I don't want any, but I've seen where I just seen one of my local shops up north when I was still up there. They just got in, I think, 3,000 or 4,000 rounds of 9mm, and I've seen, of course, at this time it wasn't as big of a problem, but I've seen a guy walk in, ask, "Do you have any 9mm? How much you have?" and buy it all. And
excuse me, folks. Yeah, God, and that's so aggravating. Like you say, save some for the rest.
Just save some, even if I don't care if you buy half of it. Then I know at least you had some thought to save some for some people. So ammunition, people, it degrades. It degrades. It will lose its power over the years it sits. So that's why you have to cycle your ammunition. It's good to buy more at intervals and go shoot the older stuff at the range, even if it's your self-defense ammo. Do that. Trust me.
I'm glad you're saying that, because that's a good little topic right there that you said that.
Yeah.
Because after so many years, and I think people are grabbing all these rounds, and I don't think they really understand that after a certain time, it's kind of like medicines, they expire.
Yeah.
So this would be kind of like beer and liquor. Liquor not really, but beer. You have an expiration date. So ammunition, you kind of do too. And if it's sitting around, see, that's why when I go to these, in which I try not to go to many of the shows anymore, because of course we've been there together, and it's just, I see stuff and I see tables and you see ammo that looks like it's been there for forever.
It's got
I've seen some
blemish marks on it.
Yeah, I've seen some Normas that have been there for like, gosh, I don't know how long. So I won't even touch it, even if it's a great deal. I still won't even touch it, because I use mostly, and I'm going to be honest, I use mostly Federal, Hornaday, I'll use CCI, I'll use Aguila, I'll use tool ammo. Yep. These are the kind of ammunition that I use in most of my firearms. Yeah. And I'm sure he does too. And it's just because I don't think we've had any issues with it.
No, I'm just a good example. Like, some of these rounds are over 40 years old plus. And I've not had one misfire, not one weird one. They've all fired. That's another thing. Like, back on the topic of bad ammunition or old ammunition, those rounds could have been all good. You could have had a perfect set of rounds. They would have all fired. But those very few inside that box that have those slight imperfections. So a good example, like that primer's a little weaker, or it was a slightly less charged, and that it ages. You can have a dangerous situation where it doesn't fire, or it's a delayed hang fire. And that's why it's one of the other safety reasons why we're discussing this. Please rotate your ammo. Don't just bulk it up and let it sit for 10 years. Unless you have it in an actual sealed, humidified, controlled area, it might last that long and be alright, but it can make a world of a distance. A round can lose 200-300 feet per second, especially like these, if it sits outside a sealed container for that long. It can also cause spikes in pressure for some reason, depending on the powder compositions and stuff like that. But
it's and I got a humidifier in here. I put one in here. I bought myself one at matter of fact, I bought it at Rule King. It was on sale during Black Friday. So I bought myself one that would cover the it's one, and it kind of lets me know if I need to recharge it again. but I bought it for this room due to the fact that of what I have in here.
Yes.
And really, I think I need myself another one. Because I don't think that that's enough. Even though I don't think I have any issues in here,
it does help a lot, though.
But it does help a lot. Yeah,
and having a preventive maintenance of the firearms and stuff like that.
Yeah. And it's like you said, safety. Safety's a big thing because the whole thing. The reason that we're talking about this and why he brought that great comment up is because safety is a big part of this whole business. Of having firearms. It's safety is the number one key, and I don't know if you saw last week's video I did on safety and proper etiquette in a firearm store.
I have not yet. I do want to watch it.
Yeah, I had a person come up to me the other day and said to me that they saw the video and they were like, that was smart. That what you were talking about was actually smart. Gun etiquette, and I've seen a couple of YouTube videos on gun etiquette. In firearm stores and everything, and what I saw last week, man, once you see the video and what I tell you that I saw, you're going to be shocked. You're literally going to be shocked. Because, I know your mom too, and she has firearms too, but your mom knows how to handle a firearm.
Oh, yeah.
But what I saw the other day are senior citizens going in to purchase firearms and not know. And the worst part, man, the worst part is the lady just handed her concealed carry paperwork. Just came in with her paperwork and was buying a firearm that didn't even know how to operate the slider. It was too hard. And where she was pointing it at, that's to me, that's either your trainer wasn't teaching you correctly or they've got to do their homework, research. How many videos are out here on firearm safety? How many things you can see on any website? Google's your big thing. You can find firearm safety, and then like right here, the USCCA. Mm-hmm. If everybody belongs to that, like I do, and the NRA, they have safety training videos that you can look at free, and it'll teach you different things. And plus, you can find local places where in your town or
that do classes
that you can go to,
safety classes,
right? But before you purchase a firearm, I think that, and you agree, because, we have some of the heavier firearms too.
Oh, yeah.
You need to have safety because what have we seen happen in the past here in Florida? Kids shooting themselves, grabbing your parents'
discharging
firearm.
into your own hand at the range.
And you know what? We can't blame the ROs at the range because it's not their fault. But when you see people that just haven't been trained properly, and the worst part about that whole situation was I felt bad for the sales associate, and he was a young guy. Because the guy who normally does it was not there. He's an older gentleman. Yeah. But he didn't know how, I guess, to tell the people that, so I had to do it. Because even though there's no rounds in the chamber, or there's no clip,
you still follow the 4 or 6
exactly, the 4 rules.
Always 4.
And I had to tell them to stop. And then her husband, you would think, because he owned the firearm that she was trying to buy,
you'd think at least you'd have some information on it.
When he tried to slide it, he aims it towards her.
Oh, no.
And I went, I just went, my God, is this not the way to... Is this, can you imagine, and I felt if I didn't say something, what if they got those firearms home and they went to do that?
Actually got ammunition for it?
And then, that I heard that they were there, and it happened in my local community that somebody shot themselves. So I had to intervene and I didn't want to. And then I also said, ma'am, I don't feel that firearm's for you. If you can't operate that slide, even though I know in the beginning slides are kind of hard until they get boiled up or broken in.
Gun break-in too.
But she couldn't eject the clip right. My mention to her was the one my wife had. You know what she carries, and I mentioned that one. I said that would be the cleaning. You don't have to hardly clean it. It does a great grouping at 25 and 50 yards.
Yeah.
And I said you have the moon clips to clip it real fast, and it's easy. It's 5 shots, and if you need more than that, we do like the more than 5 shots.
Of course, yeah.
Really,
kind of guarantees you are kind of prepared for any situation.
Right, but really, we're what 10, 15 feet away from a person if we have a problem, or what at the most maybe 25 to 50.
That's another topic is training.
We're gonna, know what, me and you, we'll get into that in a later. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you came up with that. Maybe we'll get into that maybe in a couple, future videos down here, me and you, because guys, I think that me and Austin will probably be somewhat of a team now, doing this together a lot. He might not be with me all the time because we do work different hours at work.
Yeah.
I kind of come in during the day and work the afternoon. He works actually overnight with my youngest son that you met with the Tommy gun a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
But I can't say where we work again because of we have people that we work with that do watch these videos, including supervisors and CEOs.
Yeah, they do like their privacy, and we want to respect
Yeah,
that.
and we want to respect the privacy of everyone. And that's why I don't mention last names to anybody you'll see me bring here, just a first name, and that's it. And I'll tell you that we work together, but that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to tell you what we do. But, yeah, that was just I think that's a strong topic that we need to we need to talk about. You know what I mean? I think that's it's a really good topic. And like I told you, the first of the year, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change rooms, and we're going to have more. Because you know how we're in this room right now. We're not big, but we're kind of wide, but not long. And I think we need more length. So once we get into the new room and after the first of the year, I think what I'm going to do is get us like a table where we can sit and. We can put things on the table. What we're going to and we're going to do we'll do some comparison guns.
Oh yeah.
We'll compare.
Actually, yeah, really nice.
Yeah, we'll compare, and then you know what? We'll do some range stuff where we'll go to the range. I'm going to try to set up the Dade City firing range.
Okay.
If we could do some outdoor. I don't know if indoor would be good for us because of all the
noise. There'd be too much noise clash on that.
Right.
Too much echo.
Right, and I think that I think if we did more outside stuff,
yes,
that we would be able. It's like a one-on-one, and we can each, test the firearms, and we can show what we feel and stuff. Kind of like Hitchcock 45 does, which is a great thing because he's got his own property.
Oh yeah, don't we all
and
wish we
I don't
had
think.
that?
Well, I don't think you can do it on your property. Am I correct?
No, there's too many houses around. Even though I do live in a giant farm, fields and stuff like that, but there's houses in every which direction. Plus the highway is only about a mile away.
Yeah, I know.
So
I remember driving to. I tell you what, folks, he does live in a farm type of area, but true what he says. It takes a little bit to get to his place, but I tell you what, he does live in a farm area, and gosh, I wish we could build a berm out there and be able to just go out there and start firing that thing. Mm-hmm. I think that would be great. But I'm working on something else here soon that I think might be good for us too. The only problem I foresee is that we'd have to drive from here, where I'm at right now. It's about 40 minutes away, but it's somebody who I met that has 10 acres. No, take that back. Sorry, 5 acres, but 3 of the acres are wooded.
Okay.
So 2 acres have a house on it. The other 3 are wooded, and the next neighbor is kind of distance away. So I'm gonna see if I can talk the person maybe into if we can go out there and fire in the wooded area. Maybe set up some metal. Metal different.
Another cheaper idea, if you need a backstop, at least a small one, is railroad ties. Doing a couple layers of railroad ties.
Yeah,
you see a lot of people do.
I didn't think about that. Some railroad ties.
Yep.
We could probably do that too. And I was just thinking if she would allow us to do that, we could set up kind of like Hitchcock 45 does, where he has that range. You can hit the different gongs, and
we could even bring this up.
I know, that's what I'm saying. We could bring all the big stuff out and start shooting out there, and nobody care, and nobody say anything about it. So But yeah, guys, I think Austin is he's very familiar with firearms. He's into the Second Amendment.
No, be specific. I'm no expert, by the way. So if I say something wrong, please comment, and if you have the right information, and tell us.
Yeah,
we'd love to know.
Yeah, and I'm no expert. Like I told you guys in the beginning when I first started these videos, I'm no expert. Half the guns I have, he's probably shot more of his guns than I have mine. Mine, he'll tell you, and my sons have said it before. I got tags on all of them, guys. I got 3 sitting. I got 3 sitting right here,
sitting right there,
that I haven't even taken out yet.
And how long have you had them so far?
The Heritage I bought
recent,
recent, but the GSG I bought, I think it was 2 months ago now. It's been, and then the one from Dan, the SPA one, the Strybog.
Oh yeah,
I bought that in.
That was when he was here.
Yeah, that was
years ago.
Yeah, and you know what? I haven't even fired that thing yet.
You still haven't fired it?
I haven't not even touched that firearm yet. And then I bought that Ruger American Standard there with 3 back straps and the 2 17+ round clips, and it's still in the box over here. And guys, I haven't even opened. I bought me some targets to play with, and look, I haven't even opened these targets yet. They're just, I haven't even, it's because of work. And, and a lot of times when I do these videos, it's at night when I get off of work. So, me coming off of a hard days of, my job, me coming off a hard day of dealing with out there, it's, man. Yeah, I'm tired, but I still come in here and, do about 15, 20, 25 minutes so I can, make this channel and hopefully we can educate and I can educate people. And, like I said, we're no professionals. No. We are by far no professionals. And I want everybody to understand that. These are not scripted events that we're having here that we're talking about. Me and him just get together. Matter of fact, we talked about this a week ago.
A week, two
maybe. And it was hard for us to get together to...
mainly because of how short. Oh, I wouldn't say how short notice, but just how much we have planned ahead, both of us, and unfortunate other events, life events that have happened that have prevented it.
Yeah. So we gotta, we try and now hopefully with the way things are going now, and I know the holidays are coming, so we're gonna try to do some together. But you'll probably see a lot of us, me and him together after the holidays if he can get here. On today's Saturday, so if he can get here on a Saturday morning, you'll see me and him a lot doing these videos.
And I'm always open on Saturdays.
If he's open on Saturdays, heck, we and him can knock out 2 or 3 different videos on different guns and stuff like that.
Speaking of, we do have a few others we do have to do today.
Yes, we are going to. Matter of fact, we're going to have to get off here in a second, guys, because we're going to talk about 2 other firearms for 2 other upcoming videos that we have. You'll be amazed at these 2 too. Anyway, I'd like to say thanks to Austin for coming today and getting up early this morning and coming over here to do this. And, everybody give him a shout out, and, he does a great job. He knows what he's talking about. He gave you a great explanation on this Mosin Nagant that he had here, which I'm still trying to buy off him, but he will not sell it to me. I know.
Now, to point out something, if you do want to see it taken apart, we can do that in another video if Pete will allow it. We can take it apart and actually look at what it looks like underneath, at least inside the magazine box, underneath the forestock, and a couple other pieces, other little cool facts of how to maintain this firearm. Because this one did come with its own cleaning kit too, that's serviced with it. A little cloth.
What we should. Maybe we'll do some videos of taking some of our firearms apart and letting everybody see exactly, how they're taken apart and put back together. Yeah. And like I said, if you're willing and if you want to, I think we did good. We do good, and I think that you're as familiar as I am with things, and I think we'll do good together. And hey, if we can get together every, if you want to, I don't care about every Saturday or every other Saturday and make 2 or 3 videos in a row, we'll do it. And we'll talk. Just guys, we're not just going to talk about firearms though. We are going to do some of safety and other things, that
training and
things like
what to do, like what you should be doing if you're actually trying, what you should be firearms serious. You should be treating them very serious, as we have stated multiple times.
Yes, even loaded and unloaded, it's still
treated the same.
You treat it the same way. Exactly. No difference. Yeah, he doesn't, he's like me. We don't care. You have to treat these with respect. Just like when I was a fireman, I had to treat fire with respect. Yeah, I wasn't afraid of it, but I had to treat it with respect because it can hurt you. Oh, yeah. Just like these can hurt you very easily, and if they're not, and I did one on storage of firearms around children, because remember we've had that happen too, where little kids are getting shot and killed because they're grabbing.
Yeah, just people not securing their firearms right. That's another thing.
And that's another thing, and we'll get into that too later on, and we'll do more discussions on that. But anyway, guys, I'd like to say again, Austin, thanks for coming out early this morning with me. He'll be with me, guys. You'll see him a lot more on this channel with me, and we'll go over firearms and talk. Anyway, guys, I'd like to thank everyone for the likes and subscribes. Please comment on if there's something you want us to show you or you want us to see or talk about. And, from the Gungeon, here we go. Peace out. Until next time, guys.